The fluorescent lights buzzed softly above as Kareem wiped the last smear of coffee off the polished floor of the 29th story. It was nearly midnight, and the world of billion-dollar deals had long gone home, leaving behind only the echoes of rushed meetings and half-eaten takeout. But for Kareem, a single father of two with calloused hands and a heart too big for the suit he never owned, this was just the start of another quiet battle between fatigue and hope. He had once worn a bed of shoes back in Syria where he was, a respected professor of linguistics, lecturing at Damascus University. But war has a way of flipping lives like coins, and Kareem's had landed harshly on a side no one chooses. Now in the bustling heart of Toronto, he scrubbed floors to feed two children who barely remembered their homeland, but he never complained. Not once. His smile, always tucked behind tired eyes, was for his daughter Layla and son Omar. They were his light, his reason. His future, as he swept past the towering boardroom walls of glass, chairs of leather, and screens still aglow from a late executive meeting, he heard voices. Loud, dismissive, tense. Why are we even considering expanding into the Middle East? It's too complex, too unstable, too ... backward. A suited voice snapped. Another added, besides, we don't have anyone who even speaks Arabic or understands the culture. Kareem froze. Not out of offense, but because ... he knew. He knew the language, the culture, the pain. He had taught poets and diplomats, written textbooks in Arabic, spoken at international conferences before he'd become just a janitor. He hesitated at the door, mop in hand. And then, for the first time in years, he let his truth slip through the cracks of humility. In perfect, eloquent Arabic, Kareem spoke softly from the hallway. Perhaps what you lack is not language, but listening. The room went dead silent. 15 executives turned in unison, faces a mix of confusion, disbelief, and something else. Interest? The oldest board member, Mr. Gilmore, stood. You speak Arabic? He asked cautiously. Kareem stepped forward, his uniform stark against the sleek decor. I do, and more than that, I understand the region, its nuances, its people, its hopes. There was silence, and then a young VP scoffed. With respect, sir, you mop floors. Why should we believe you know any of this? Kareem didn't flinch. Instead, he stepped to the massive screen, wiped his hands on a cloth, and began translating. The company's latest pitch declined by line into flawless, poetic Arabic. Not just words, meaning, intention, emotion. By the time he was done, there were tears in one executive's eyes. Mr. Gilmore sat back slowly. Why have we never heard of you? Kareem smiled gently. Because you never looked down long enough to see what was already here. The meeting ended not with decisions, but with questions. For the first time, Kareem was invited to sit, not as a janitor, but as a consultant, as a human being. The next morning, Kareem's children woke up to pancakes and the rarest of gifts, their father, home at sunrise. Layla asked sleepily, Why are you smiling so much, Baba? Kareem only said, Sometimes, when the world forgets who you are, you remind it. The story of the janitor who silenced the boardroom with Arabic spread quietly at first, just whispered within the walls of that towering office. But then an intern blogged about it, and then a reporter called. Before long, the story was viral, but Kareem didn't chase the spotlight. He declined interviews except one, where he asked to speak not about himself, but about refugees, dignity, and the untold talents of people who clean the floors others walk on without thought. The company's CEO, struck by the humanity in Kareem's message, created a new diversity initiative, not as a token gesture, but one shaped by Kareem himself. He was hired formally as a cultural consultant and linguistic advisor. But Kareem still asked to mop once a week. When asked why, he said, It reminds me of where I came from, and it keeps me humble enough to keep learning. Months later, the company launched its Middle East expansion with Kareem leading the charge. The campaign, infused with cultural respect and authentic language, was a massive success. But the real win wasn't the money, it was the message. Greatness doesn't always come from suits and titles, it often rises quietly, with a mop in hand. and a heart full of love. At an award ceremony honoring diversity and inclusion, Kareem stood with Layla and Omar beside him. His final words moved the room to tears. We all speak different languages, but kindness, humility, and dignity are universal. Don't just build boardrooms that speak, build ones that listen.